Ramily. Welcome to Ramsoholic Season 1, Episode 7. I'm your host, Shay. You can find me on Twitter at Shay Tweeted That. You can find the team and all of our other content over at Toilets to Titles on Twitter. Make sure to give me a follow as well as the team. On today's episode of Ramsoholic, I'm going to talk about the Los Angeles Rams' 10 most important players. I actually ended up having 11 because it was so hard. Make sure to tune in so you can see who finished number one most important player for the Los Angeles Rams. Cue the intro.
Let's swap a verse, and I can play ball in real life. So when they make it fun, it never work. They think they offended me. I'm dodging that energy. I know who my friends are now. You currently dead to me. This shit gon' last a century. And every time they mention me, increase my life expectancy. Maybe this my destiny. Loved and hated, then hated and loved. Never betrayed to be a thug, but know a couple who hold slugs. Ain't fighting Spider-Man, but everything I'm spitting venom. Had to look in the mirror and get my shit together. Cause sometimes you think it's over, but it's only getting better. Yeah, good friends going with the wind like Pac said. Legends never die, so we not dead. I'm a fresh white boy, you can call me a pothead. And say I ain't got bread.
As always, you can find all of our content, including articles, mock drafts, player rankings, and episodes at toiletstotitles.com. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Also, turn on the post notifications so you don't miss out on all of our daily content. Also, while you're on YouTube, the CFB Nation YouTube channel is our sister network, and they bring you daily college football content. Show them some love by subscribing. Throw us an Apple Podcasts, iTunes review. And lastly, if you'd like to interact with the team, discuss NFL, fantasy football, betting, college football, or if you'd like to get into our weekly mock drafts, reach out to me or Coach Sheps at Coach Sheps on Twitter to get into our Gilded chat. All right, so this was a fun episode for me to dissect when talking about the Los Angeles Rams. As I mentioned, there's not much to talk about right now in football in general. I guess we could bring up the fact DeAndre Hopkins just signed with the Tennessee Titans, but other than that, football's been pretty dead, and sports in general outside of baseball, golf, if you're a fan of those sports, has been all right, I guess. Personally, I like NFL, NBA, MMA. But yeah, so top 10 most important players on the Los Angeles Rams heading into the 2023 season. At number 10, I have two players, so 10, 11. Feel like both of these guys are going to be our number 2 option in the passing game. So it was hard for me to just decide on one. So I just put both, and that would be Van Jefferson and Tyler Higbee. Van Jefferson last season in 9 starts had 24 catches, 369 yards, and 3 touchdowns. A pretty bad season for Van Jefferson, dealt with injuries, and then had Baker Mayfield in there. Limited passing offense that the Rams had all season and more so towards the end of the year. And then Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee last year played a full 17 games, which is a good sign. That doesn't always happen. He had 72 catches, 620 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now, these two guys are super important for the Rams to get back to the playoffs. These guys are going to be the number 2 to Cooper Kupp, and production will need to be there, but they need to make these defenses respect their game because they're going to bring everything at Cooper Kupp most likely. So you want to make sure that your number 2 receivers in the passing game, whether it's Higbee or Van Jefferson, or hey, maybe Tutu Atwell, Ben Skoranek, maybe they come out and earn it, but I doubt that. So right now it's Van Jefferson and Tyler Higbee. 2 super important guys for us to get back to the playoffs this year and to really have some success and really boost Cooper Kupp and not really get him drained out and possibly injured because he's going to be used too much. At number 9, Steve Avila, our rookie out of TCU, our first pick in the draft this year, second round pick. I expect a lot of him. What I've seen in his college film, even in the national championship game versus Georgia, the kid can ball. He's a great guard. Now, whether he's going to be the left guard or the right guard, who knows? He's definitely going to start. I know that for sure. He's a big body. He's someone that we're really going to need to improve our guard play. Our guard play last year was not the best at all. A lot of rotations with the offensive line, no continuity. It was pretty rough. And there's a lot of, I don't want to say pressure, but there's a lot of need of Steve Avila to perform for us to get back to the playoffs. You know, it's not often that you have a rookie as one of your top 10 most important players outside of being a quarterback, especially if he was a second-round pick, but that's the situation the Los Angeles Rams are in right now. We were depleted on the offensive line, so Steve Avila really is going to be relied upon to really bring it each and every game. At number 8, Jordan Fuller, safety. Last year, Jordan Fuller only played 3 games due to a hamstring injury, but he is back and fully healthy to start this season. So Jordan Fuller was a 7th-round pick when we first took him out of Ohio State. He's had some glimpses in his career so far. Outside of last year, stood relatively healthy on the field. Definitely dealt with some competition at safety as of late with Rapp, Scott, and the time Johnson. So now it's his chance to be the leader at that back end. We need Jordan Fuller to really break out this season. I do have him being one of our top breakout players as well as an important player to us, which is why I have him so high on this list and in our top 10. He's a smart safety. He can read defenses. He can read offenses, He can really get to the ball. He's very underrated, and we're going to need a big season out of Jordan Fuller. So that's why he's at number 8. At number 7, Jacoby Durant. Now, on Twitter, you've probably been seeing a lot of Jacoby Durant. A lot of people are starting to buy into him. Led the league last year in return yards after interception with 151 yards. He had 3 interceptions, including a pick 6 versus the Denver Broncos, Christmas Day. Jacoby Durant, man, he's coming in. He's replacing Jalen Ramsey. He's our number 1 cornerback right now. Second year in the NFL, and you're a starting cornerback for a team that just won a Super Bowl 2 seasons ago. It's insane. But it's like I mentioned, it's where we are right now. The Rams are super young, and a lot of our important players in this back end have been very young. I think Jacoby Durant has a great nose for the ball. I think he's going to make a lot of big plays for us, and we're going to need that. The defense might be our weak point this year, so we need to get those interceptions, get the offense to the ball. Jacoby Durant is the man, and I expect a big season out of him and for him to really make himself a household name after this year. At number 6, Rob Havenstein, the longest tenured Los Angeles Ram back in the St. Louis days. Havenstein's one of the better right tackles in football. He's getting up there in age, but he's someone that we're really going to need to perform again, as we do every season. Big Rob is a monster there. He's our leader. So he's going to have to bring all of these young guys in and really get them ready. Havenstein actually has had some great games against Bosa and San Fran as well, who's a premier edge rusher, one of the best defensive edge guys in football, and he does great against him. So I'm expecting Havenstein to have another big season. I am going to kind of explain that I only have 2 offensive linemen here, so I kind of ruin it. No surprise there. Steve Avila and Havenstein, the 2 guys on the offensive line that I have in this top 10. Of course, in an extended list of 15 to 20, I would have more, but I think those are 2 guys that are going to be crucial for us, the young buck and the veteran. So number 6, Rob Havenstein. I'm expecting a big season. Quickly, if you'd like to join the team and become part of the Title Tribe and Ramily, make sure to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Toilets to Titles. You'll find a bunch of different levels, base level, all the way to a premier high level of different things that you get with each level you join. The high end, you're going to get roster analysis, a 30-minute episode breaking down your league's draft. You're going to get free entries into Frankenstink League, one-on-one DFS advice, betting advice, in-season waiver wire episodes exclusive to Patreon members. So definitely make sure to check it out and support the team. All right, so at number 5, we got the man, the dog, Ernest Jones. A lot of people love Ernest Jones. You know, if you watch IDP show on Toilets to Titles with Nino and Jared's a big Ernest Jones guy. He has him as a sleeper and can't knock it, man. It's just facts. In 11 starts, he had 114 tackles last year, 4 tackles for loss, 1 QB hit, a forced fumble, and an interception. So Ernest Jones is our linebacker, the lone vet there. We lost Bobby Wagner, so Ernest Jones is really going to have to do his thing at linebacker. It's going to be a lot of pressure to cover that middle of the field, but I feel Ernest Jones is up for the task. This is year 3. He's gotten progressively better each season, and I think that's going to continue this year. These Rams defense, they're going to have to just ball out for us. We're going to need them to not allow a whole bunch of points. It's going to be a test for a young defense, but I know they're up to the task, and one of their leaders on defense will be Ernest Jones. At number 4, Cam Goham Akers. Last season, 786 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns, 117 receiving yards on 13 catches. Only started 9 games, and he finished the season with 3 straight 100-yard games. First Ram to do that since Todd Gurley in 2017. So Cam had a rough season to start last year. There was talks of him being traded. He wasn't playing. He was injured. He wasn't even getting snaps. Darrell Henderson, who's still a free agent, was. Kerwin Williams was. No Cam Akers. There was a point where there were talks about him actually being released. And thank goodness we did not release Cam Akers. Cam Akers was a top rusher to end the season last year in the NFL. He looked like he was over that Achilles injury, which sometimes takes time. He came back kind of early, fought through it, played in the Super Bowl, NFC Championship. He came back and, the whole playoff run. And outside that Arizona game, he really looked off. There's something wrong with him. But then the last 3 games of last year, even the back end, even before that, he had 68 yards in one of the previous games before those 300 yards. But he just looked better. He was finding the holes more. He wasn't just running up the middle. He was fighting for those extra yards. That's the Cam Akers that we drafted and that we all loved as a rookie. They had that monster game against New England where everyone thought he was the next great Rams running back. And he still can be. He's young. And he has time. I think Cam Akers is going to have over 1,000 rushing yards this year. I would like to see him improve in the passing game, but regardless, he needs to get those yards. We need to get teams to respect the run so he could open the pass with some play action and throw that ball deep to Tutu Atwell. Because Tutu's a guy that's not on my top 10 list, but he's a guy that needs to step up. At number 3, Cooper Kupp. Last season, Cooper Kupp had 75 catches, 812 yards, which was 90 yards a game, 6 touchdowns receiving, 1 rushing touchdown in 9 games. Of course, he had an injury that ended his season, so hopefully he's back to his old self, and I am very confident he will be. This is Cooper Kupp, to me the best receiver in football. Clutch, go-getter, put him in the slot, he's killing that linebacker. Put him outside, he's killing that outside corner. He could do it all. No question about it. So he is my number 3 most important player for the Rams this season. And he's just a dog. No shocker there. At number 2, the GOAT, the madman, the kill a double team man, Aaron Donald. Last season, 49 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 11 QB hits, 5 sacks, which was a career low, and he only played 11 games, which is why it was a career low, but I have to be honest and put that out there. Aaron Donald's back. He didn't retire, and he didn't come back to tank for Caleb Williams, for Drake May. He came back to get into the playoffs and make a run. He has faith in this team. He has faith in Sean McVay. Aaron Donald's the best defensive player in football still, even at 32 years old. Last year, he missed 6 games. He probably could have came back, but with the season already done, why rush him back? Let him rest. We had a big Super Bowl season, and now he's ready. He's got a lot of young guys to lead, and who better to lead a young defense than the greatest player on the defensive side of all time, Aaron Donald. We could debate all this all you want. Let me know. AD's the GOAT. And at number 1, our QB1, Matthew Stafford. Last season, went 3-6 in 9 games, 68% completion percentage, 2,087 yards, 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 1 rushing touchdown, and 68% completion percentage was actually his highest percent of his career. The Rams had to get the ball out quick. The offensive line was horrible. But Matthew Stafford did what he had to do to keep us in games. I mean, there's no way a QB of this caliber could not be our most important player. QBs are usually the most important player on any team. And that's the case here. We need Stafford to stay upright. We need Stafford to share that ball. But he needs help. He needs help from guys like Havenstein, Avella, Akers, Jefferson, Higbee. We already know what Kupp's going to bring. Noteboom, Alaric Jackson, Brian Allen. We need everybody to be all hands on deck. And your quarterback is always getting praised when you win and getting the dump of everything when you lose. So Stafford is number 1 most important Ram this season. There's been talks that we were going to try to trade him this offseason. I think it's ridiculous. Supposedly he didn't want to take a pay cut. I don't know. If I don't hear anything from any Rams reporters, I'm not going to believe it. These are all rumors. This is Matthew Stafford. This is the reason that we won our Super Bowl. Clutch game after clutch game after clutch game. Game-winning drives every game outside the first game against the Arizona Cardinals. Matthew Stafford is him. And he is our most important player heading into the 2023-24 season. Ramily, thank you all for tuning in. As always, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. We really appreciate the love, Ramily and Title Tribe. As always, take care of yourself and your loved ones. I'm your boy Shay, Ramsoholic, and I'm out.
It's 4 a.m. in New Bedford, I'm getting my shit together. City just ain't safe, these kids down for whatever. Letting the lead fly, they flocking just like a feather. I couldn't stay there forever, career not getting better. I ain't no rapper, can't imagine not getting cheddar. They posting pics in they base models, not even leather. It's not even leather. It's 4 a.m. White. Wait. The city just ain't safe. I'm still here, nothing changed.
What's up, Title Tribe? We appreciate you watching the show. If you want to catch up on all of our college football content, make sure you subscribe to the CFB Nation by clicking their link below. Make sure you subscribe to the Toilets Titles Podcast Network by clicking our link below. And make sure to catch our other content by watching these videos to the side of